The people who walk in darkness will see a great light. Those who live in a dark land, the
Greater light. Greater light. Let's get it. Come on.
God's promise.
Before that noon sun. Let's go.
Deep God's promise.
Greater light.
God's mind is my mind is light. I am in all ways reflecting His sight. In all ways I acknowledge no knowledge, no college. Ooh, God, you promised that great day will come. Yes, God, you promised that I will see my son. You promised that He is by your side, and nothing can separate this love inside. No masters, no doctors can prescribe ways in my callings. Only His ways, oh, ancient of days can correct. He reflects the path I acknowledge. God's mind is my mind is light. I am in all ways reflecting His might. I am in all ways refracting His sight. In all ways I acknowledge no knowledge, no college. Oh God, you promised that great day will come. Yes, God, you promised that I will see my son. You promised that He is by your side, and nothing can separate this love inside. No masters, no doctors can prescribe ways in my callings. Oh. I am the way, the truth, and the light. God's paradise cycle, not those particulars of night. I gave up that coast, Eloi, Lama supply vows. I fought them out of the dark. My Father shined on me. I am the way. All of His might, all eyes on me within your sight. I am the light.
You are the light. I am the light.
Jesus said, I am who and the light. God's heart I cycle, not those particulars of night.
Greater light. Reality steps into view. No longer living life in paradise. Oh, fairy tales. I'm no longer living life in paradise or fairy tales. Anybody out there act like they living in paradise right now is something ain't right. You is possibly in a simulation that you may want to try to get out of before Elon Musk and his crew. He's still trying to do April Fools on y'all. He did a fifth test out of all the stuff that Elon been sending out to space. This is the fifth test. I could have swore he done did about 100 and some odd tests. This is only the fifth test? Huh? I could go into details and show y'all where he is doing April Fools on y'all because his rockets never go straight up. They always end up curving because they cannot go no further. They can't even go 33 miles straight up off of Earth before whatever t- uh, equipment they send will implode. Those are facts. Implode, explode, it will implode. So that's why they end up going, they have to go vertically. And then if they don't catch whatever opening there is, if they don't catch that opening, they still can't get out of the atmosphere, out of the sphere. Huh? All your Mars experiments trying to get back to Mars. Anything they put out there, like that James Webb telescope out there, all gold plated and everything, if it is out there, the elements will attach to it, even if it is not. That's where you get the asteroid. A lot of these asteroids are old pieces of equipment that gained debris as it traveled. Something um like the pearl. The pearl is just the excretion of feces from the shell creature. And as it continues to rotate and swirl and do the spiral, it starts accumulating all of the elements of the sea and turning it and taking the sand and making it into that what they call jewels. So this boo boo, the pearl, becomes a jewel. And it's the same thing with the equipment and elements that break off out there that they try to send and lying and telling you it's out there. It would not survive where there is no pressure, according to their science, their factual, supposedly factual sciences. Well, today I'm going to be going over. I didn't even try to test to see if Internet Archives is back up because I don't answer to Elon Musk. I don't answer to Elon. He is not going to be determining whether what information I need to find out on why I can't access Internet Archives, like they said yesterday. Access Internet Archives. If you have any questions on why Internet Archives is down when you was trying to read out of the holy tablets, you go and talk to X or Mastodon or Blue Skies. Huh? They got me messed up. But I'm going to be reading out of holy tablets again today. Huh? And I'm going to be reading out of. Now, just a little while ago, what I was only thing I wanted to intercept out of the holy tablets was on the Internet Archive, somebody implanted the seven thunders in the beginning of the pages, and I like that. So, in the documents that I have from the holy tablets, it does not have the seven thunders at the beginning. So I was like, oh man, but I didn't want to go and tamper with Internet Archive since, you know, they lying and saying that it was hacked. Like I said, really, hackers want the Internet Archives. They want to hack up Internet Archives when they could be hacking up people accounts and stuff. They want to hack up Internet Archives. So what I did is I looked in handy dandy, my handy dandy, uh, and found my copy. Let me show you my copy of Seven Thunders that I've had since 2013. I'm not exaggerating, making this up. My copy of Seven Thunders that I had, the reason why I like pulling it there is because so other people can read along with me. I don't have a printer, so I didn't print this. I have a printer, but it's I haven't refreshed it with any ink. So I'm telling you, literally, I've had my copy of Seven Thunders since 2013. This is one of my handy dandy go-to folders. As a matter of fact, this same folder was given to me 2013. And I fill it up with things that are necessary for me. Huh? Things that is necessary for my right wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Huh? Why the why? Huh? Let me see. I was reading out of the holy tablets. It said in the sixth, see that title? Well, not the soulmate one. Where's the other one? You see how they all came apart, and because like how people got them Bibles, they have to get them 2 or 3 different Bibles. They have to get 2 or 3 different Bibles because one of their Bibles is they study Bibles and they get all torn up. So they have the other Bible that they take to church because that one ain't all the pages coming out and folded pages and stuff like that. And behind the soulmate ones, where I had the elements up in here, right there. Hold up. I even got some understanding paperwork in here. Secret Energy, Savon Bomar. That what year was that? Huh? If I have to translate what somebody wrote on the screen, I have that. Wait a minute. I have that. If I'm just saying, my point is to Elon Musk. I don't know what you think you was doing when you just because I got on there and read out the holy tablets, and that I'm gonna be doing it continuously now. That you would have them shut down the internet archives like that was gonna stop something. And because I made a testimony that I don't have my holy tablets, the tangible book, because my best friend in North Carolina, they haven't sent it to me as many times as I've asked. I don't know what happened to it, and I'm not worried about it. But I think that's what he thought was going to go down. Like, oh, we'll stop it. She can't access the internet archives and all this. And for this information I had way before I even had a YouTube page. It was in the blood to be connected to me. The code that it would find its way to me to be spoken through me. Who you think you are, Elon? Huh? Huh? Y'all wonder who Babylon is. You've been saying baby. It's a war against the baby and the Elon from the beginning of time. Let me start this off right. My mind is God's mind. I'm always reflecting divine wisdom and divine intelligence. My brain symbolizes the capacity to think wisely and spiritually because God's ideas unfold within my mind in perfect sequence. Huh? That solution, he has the perfect solution, perfect sequence. Your DNA was the perfect sequence. They have tampered with it with their mRNA messaging and RNA, and they put it in their holy tablets in their federal register and let you know they mess. You go in there in the federal register and type in RNA. And all the way down to the last storm, they got the term RNA in the message of the storms. Uh, God has provided the perfect solution for every single one of my needs. Before my mother's, well, before he so strategically took the flesh and put it together for me to come through in light and into this body. I didn't come into this body. This flesh existed in 1972. I didn't enter this flesh until 1976. My mind is God's mind. I'm always reflecting divine wisdom and divine intelligence. My brain symbolizes the capacity to think wisely and spiritually. God's ideas unfold within my mind in perfect sequence. I'm always poised, balanced, serene, and calm, even when I don't want to be. Huh? Because God has provided the perfect solution to every single one of my needs. You say amen. You can say amen. Huh? You can say amen, amen, huh? Amun. I say, God, you promise. God is going to keep his promise. You can say Selah, huh? You can say gracias. You can say whatever it is that you say, uh, to remind you that you are a witness to what God has and is to you and his promises to you. I say, God, you promise. I just say it straight up. God, you promised. You promised. So now I decided, let me pull out the seven thunders again, because there's something very important that we have missed all these years in regards to the seven thunder. And they have tried to make us think and believe that the seven thunders, we know that the seven thunders or the air, the devil or the demons or the spiritual wickedness in high places has dominion over the air, according to scriptures across most religions. Let's stick to the term religions. And um, Jesus said, I need to hurry up because the one who is the prince of air is over the air is coming soon. Right? And he was in talking and speaking in regards to the spiritual wickedness in high places. So when they say that El Nina, a girl, would come, they have already programmed us to just consider the weather alone, right? So that all that we see in all the destruction, and we're thinking, okay, El Nina, this is because of the positioning of the earth on the axis, how that changed, and the weather patterns that have to do with the El Nina that they was preparing us for and through. So in our minds, automatically, we were not, just those who are not aware would think spiritual. It's not spiritual. It's just the weather pattern of El Nina. But here in the sixth thunder, no, in the fifth thunder, where now we're moving into the sixth. It says the fifth thunder, four great people will perish. Floods, lightning storms, tornadoes, landslides, hurricanes, hail in the summer, forest fires, children killing their parents, rampant insanity and murders, an upsurge in drug addiction, and demonic revivals parading themselves as righteous. El Nina, little girl, will come. So even me, it's the weather pattern. They named it El Nina, and we're seeing all the themes of the sixth thunder. But lo and behold, honey, you come take a ride with me. Come on and take a ride with me to the Federal Register. You don't have to watch my Federal Register where I go. You can go to the Federal Register all by yourself and go check it out. You could go to the Federal Register and go check it out. They have proclaimed to bring in the little girl in their International Day of the Girl 2024 in this leap year. So all that is falling in place, the little girl will come, El Nina, today for the October 15th. In the Federal Register document, they have their international meaning worldwide, not national just in regards to United States, worldwide, that they're bringing the celebration of the little girl. The little girl will come. They are letting their international colleagues and allies, all of their allies, let me pull this out a little bit more. All of their allies, they're letting them know that we are moving into the stage of the sixth thunder, that we are surpassing into or past the little girl, but we're making it a national day in this leap year where everything is doubled, 2 Decembers, the leap, even they had that movie in inoculation with France and United States, the leap, the ballerina movie, way ahead of time. But as of the 15th of October, they are celebrating International Day of the Girl. We know if it was a woman's celebration, they would say International Day of Women. But they want to celebrate the little girls. Latrell Tinwell, Sunday best, huh? Greater light, greater light. So here we go. International Day of the Girl. Let me go ahead and share this with you. I'm going to read and see what it is that they talking about. What they talking about? Executive Office of the President talking about proclamation of International Day of the Girl. They put the proclamation out on October 10th, 2024. Girls have the power to shake and shape our world. See, I can't wait for all of the political figures that's going to go down. They could go and try to hide that stuff if they want to. Believe me, Trump already then got eyes on insiders to watch and make sure they don't delete none of that stuff. They don't delete none of that stuff. None of that stuff. We talking about Puff the Magic Dragon right now. I can't wait. Because it's people like this statement that he got here. Girls have the power to shake and rattle the world, or whatever he said. You know how many y'all think it's the boys and the girls. See, the prostitutes within they get to sue and talk because they were the consorts. They were the whores of the industry. It's just like Solomon Temple. Solomon Temple, if they was to go back and say, Solomon, if they was to go back and charge Solomon these days, they say, Solomon, you had 300 whores. They was all legal. They worked for the system. They was industry paid. Huh? And then he had 700 wives. Huh? So even when you look right now, that why was he purposely making sure he keep all these tapes and keep them in and blackmail? He ain't worried about a thing. I told y'all that man ain't worried about a thing. Huh? And Trump making sure ain't not he got insiders. He gonna make sure they don't get to scribble out any of the tapes, their Akashic records. They don't get to take any of that information to get rid of, because the majority of those behind those closed doors, them big dogs, 11 judicial, Florida got the most paperwork. Florida got the most. Huh? Huh? Don't be talking about Bill Clinton probably showed up and played his clarinet. Huh? You know how many people are scared and getting ready to duck out and hide? I heard T.I. say he retiring now. Huh? Now you retiring? Huh? But they just pissed me off. Just this first sentence right here. Y'all done seen Biden all questionable. Y'all done seen Obama. Let me tell you something about Obama. Y'all done seen Obama rubbing shoulders with those like Jay-Z and all right with it. Now I ain't saying nothing about Obama with children. I'm not saying nothing about him with children. But I can tell you one thing, he will. Let me tell you something about Obama. Ain't nobody still ain't questioning how come that chef who got murdered on his property and drowned out, because he don't believe in nobody messing with his own children. That's what that story about, huh? So there's a lot wrong with Obama. There's a lot wrong with him, and I said, but I know he'll take somebody out. He'll have somebody taken out for even looking at his daughters the wrong way. Now I'm gonna tell you that. I don't like Obama. Y'all know how I feel about Black Lip Obama. But when I tell you, he will, he will do some things. He will take people out for looking at his children the wrong way. And I bet you he didn't have his children at none of them parties. Even if he was invited, I bet you none of his daughters was at none of them people houses. anyways, back to it. And he did this first sentence. What he sound like even saying something like that about a girl? Huh? Let me get back to it. Girls have the power to shake and shape our world. They will grow up to be doctors, CEOs, artists, entrepreneurs, tradeswomen, service members, scientists, or anything they put their minds to, leading our nation to a bigger and brighter future. During International Day of the Girl, we honor the lives and contributions of girls worldwide, celebrate their limitless potential, and recommit to opening doors of the opportunities so girls everywhere can realize their dreams. Girls everywhere can realize their dreams if the government of the United States would invest more into the homes versus their democracy of killing and destroying, huh? Pumping all type of chemicals into the waters and all that, huh? If they would stop targeting blacks like they do in the Federal Register programs and their mother bureau boards. Blacks, when I say blacks, the list of blacks goes into, and they have it in their Federal Register. Asians are considered blacks. Indigenous natives are considered, indigenous and natives are considered black. And Hispanics are considered in their federal register. That's what they determine what black is. They have a whole list about 5 groups considered black, and they're targeted. Girls play an invaluable role in the success of our communities. How, when little girls can't even go outside and play like they used to? Y'all remember when we was children? Like now, us, my mother was strict, so we only had a certain that we could go to this house next door. That, but the other girls all over the community could go all over the community and play, and barely had to worry about a thing. Huh? Because of the rampantness of the drugs being pumped into the community, where most of those drugs have the what a man's natural thought about sex is becomes unnatural. So you have the drugs playing a part in the mind frames of the people in the community. Then they take and dump all of those sexual predators back into the community. Say they can't be but so many miles away from the church. But if you go and look at your type in where all the sexual predators in your community, they right there by the churches. Then all of the programs or the homeless programs that filter the, what do you call it, the sexual predators and the murderers and stuff, all of them, those homeless programs and homeless, they be right in the center, right next to a park 2 blocks down from a daycare. So how can the girls even imagine playing? They play an invaluable role in the success of our communities. Girls play an invaluable role in the success of our communities. When young women and girls are afforded the same opportunities as young men and boys, we are all better off. What that mean? Who wrote this for Biden? Who wrote this? This came from the higher ups. Huh? A little girl will come in the International Day of the Girl. Not International Day of Girl. Just like it is predicted in all of the scriptures, the little girl will come. Who wrote this? Economies grow, education rates and health outcomes improve, and political instability and violence declines. Where, when, and how? If we go to the Missing Children's Bureau, how many missing children, little girls, ain't been found yet? Who do he think he fooling? This right here is their chant to let their higher ups in the spiritual wickedness in high places, letting them know we're moving into the next phase before the 6th thunder. Let me continue. Economy rates and health outcomes improve while they steady the most of the young girls of all races being pumped up and eating chemicals off of Doritos, Mountain Dew, and all these other foods that can cause their intestines and their organs to be transparent. So it'll be easier when they say we purchasing Americans. When they teaching them that these little girls right here that they talking about, if they really talking about physically, they want to teach them now you have the right to kill your children. When you have them, you have the right to do it. Nobody can tell you if you can and cannot. That's what what we deciding for you on health. You also have a right if you want to be a boy. You don't have to be a girl. So are they really talking to girls in this document? And if you want to be a boy instead of a girl, we will defend you, and you could tell your mama and your daddy to shut up because you had a last say so according to what our government stands on. Huh? Who Biden think he talking to? Which little girls he talking to? Economies grow, education rates and health outcomes improve, and political instability and violence decline. Yet, throughout the world, girls continue to face persecution, violence, intimidation, and they are barred from fully participating in their communities, socially, educationally, economically, and politically. Why? That is why my administration has taken steps to provide girls with support they need to thrive, beginning in their homes and classrooms. My American Rescue Plan expand to child tax credit. There go to taxes. First place, tax. You could get a tax credit. We're not going to go to, let's say, the poorest state in wages. The poorest state in the United States in wages is Georgia. Let's just use Georgia for example. Georgia, where they planning to have their new antebellum phase out. Georgia, 7.25 an hour. They still at only 7.25 an hour. They ain't even raised her and the who Warnock raised more money than they have ever seen in all of their history, according to Biden. And all the money that they send into all these different wars, where Israel getting so bad on their holiest day, they went in and did some killing of children and families. Huh? Their holiest day of the year, according to them, was yesterday. And they said when they before the sun rose, they had bombed out. They supporting Ukraine. Ukraine and is the old Jewish Russians, to the point where they supporting them not only by sending them money but protecting their artifacts that show all these deities that are supposedly black. Yeah, they got a federal registered document that shows that Ukraine sent all of their artifacts, their art, just in case. Art dating back to before the documented. I told y'all Jesus existed way before all that they got written and how they scribble scrabble and messed up everything. They got all those artifacts to be protected, imported into the United States recently. They sending all that money over there, but the best they could do for it is the rescue on the expanded child tax credit, meaning a mother got to work at the least minimum wage that she could get, and then be glad when April and May come around to get a little bit of her money back. My American Rescue Plan expanded the child tax credit, which reduced child poverty to a historic low. Where at? The American Rescue Plan was also the largest one-time education investment ever in our nation's history, bringing more teachers, counselors, social workers, after school and summer programs, and tutoring to public schools across the country. That's a lie. That's a lie. So many teachers quit, especially so many teachers died during the pandemic. They lying. You go to their Federal Register information and to Congress and go through all their stuff, and you'll see that he's lying. They have such a shortage throughout the United States. This is supposed to be international, but he back on the United States. They have such a shortage that the amount of teachers to a class has superseded what it used to be. My administration continues to call on Congress to restore the expanded child tax credit, guaranteed affordable, high quality child care and birth to kindergarten for 16 million children. They making this about the children? I thought it was about the girls. I told you. What's her name? Kamala Harris wants to be the mother of the motherboard, the mother bureau that does experiments on children left and right. They have put so many millions of dollars on them being able to research on children, including the stillborn, for all the attempts that they're making to make um what you call it, abortion legal, isn't on the facet that's in the mind where people think it is. It's based on them being able to retrieve the carcass, the stillborns, from the mothers to be able to do the research of development of uploading consciousness into the babies. It's written in their documents. I'm not making this up. The same way they did testing before they used to call black and brown people animals. So if you go to the Mother Bureau Board, the Motherhood Bureau, and look at their history, you'll see at one point when they used to call us animals, and the studies that they was doing in the 1800s according to the animalistic, what they considered animalistic nature. Then they went into testing the blood, and that's where you get that they began testing on the sickle cell and looking for the thalassemia and looking for, and they still doing that to this day. That Motherhood Bureau have millions of dollars being pumped into their health research versus taking those millions of dollars and putting them into the homes or in funds for these communities. Some of these entities that claim that they help black people, I'm going to show you just an example, a testimony. Say there's 3 different funding programs to help women that need help, that say have children or they're homeless or whatever. And you'll have the program that's for predominantly black and brown, supposedly, people. And when you walk into their facility, they'll say, well, we don't have the funds, which they do be having the funds. We don't have the funds, and the best we could do is pray for you. Then you'll have the other one that is half funded, and they say, well, we will fund you. I mean, we will help you. Well, we can't help you get off the streets, but we can help you have some food and clothes. But as long as do this, just say, sweep our steps. and we can help you. We may not be able to help you with a place to stay or get off the streets, but we can help you with that. Then they'll have the funds for the women and children, but it's so limited. You have that last program that they are willing to help every woman and child that they can with no strings attached, but they don't get the funds that because they won't give that program the funds. This is me seeing it with my own eyes, living it, experiencing it. When I tell you. So what do they mean right here? My administration continues to call on the Congress to restore the expanded child tax credit, guarantee affordable, high quality care from birth to kindergarten for 16 million children, and make a universal free preschool available for every 4-year-old in America. A universal free preschool available for every 4-year-old in America. These actions would lift girls across the country out of poverty and ensure they enter the classroom ready and excited to learn. Are they lifting the babies out, the girls out of poverty without lifting the mothers out of poverty? How they do that and where they do that at? In addition, my administration made it easier for schools to leverage Medicaid to deliver mental health services to their students. I was laughing yesterday at something that I heard and was um, into um, where they will increase the mental health beds and mental health programs. They won't invest the money to help heal what causes the person to go into mental health defects in the first place. But they telling you we'll increase the mental health beds to 49ers stadium size. But we're not going to go in and balance out the budget and raise funds to help these women and children. And we're going to skip over making sure the mothers are out of poverty, because the Mother Bureau that Kamala Harris want to be in charge of said that they're targeting mothers who are high school dropouts, and all these different targets that they have. So they skipping over the mothers and going straight to lifting the children out of poverty. How they do that? So while these mothers are being taken away from mental health instabilities, they get to adopt your child. Mhm. In addition, my administration made it easier for schools to leverage Medicaid to deliver mental health services to their students. We invested over 1.5 billion to strengthen the 988 suicide and crisis lifeline, invest in school-based mental health services, and launched a national mental health strategy with ongoing investments to strengthen the mental health workforce, ensure mental health parity, and connect Americans to care. We remain dedicated to using every tool in our toolbox to empower girls both in and out of classroom. We also remain committed to ensuring that girls can live free from violence, fear, and abuse. Last month, we marked the 30th anniversary of Violence Against Women Act, a bill I authored more than 3 decades ago. Wait a minute. He's saying he, the one, authored the bill of Violence Against Women Act 3 decades ago. 30 years ago, Biden, the one, wrote Violence Against Women Act, and the violence is worse than it's ever been in all of world's history. That's what did that, let me see who signed this document. Did he sign it or Kamala Harris signed it? Let me see. Okay, so he's saying 30 years ago, a bill he authored, he wrote the bill 30 years ago. Violence Against Women Act, a VAWA. He wrote a VAWA that had money being put in, money being put in, money being put in through moonshots, huh? So in 1994, he was sitting somewhere with his stinky penny loafers. Who was he sitting with in 1994 when he wrote this bill? A bill, only a bill on Capitol Hill. Uh, a bill I authored more than 3 decades ago. Since then, every time we have reauthorized this law, we have strengthened it. Every year, it gets more and more violent. That's exactly what he's saying. He put it out there. For example, we broaden the law's protection to better addressing dating violence, sexual assault, and stalking. Really? We expanded services for our nation's most vulnerable populations and invested in prevention programs for young people. We provided more than 690 million in grants to over 40 VAWA funded programs in states and tribal communities nationwide. Through VAWA and other laws like the Victims of Crime Act and Family Violence Prevention and Services Act, we are working every day to empower girl and end gender-based violence. Furthermore, we are aggressively combating harmful effects that social media can have on our children. My White House task force to address online harassment and abuse work directly with parents and teens to develop ways for children to stay safe online and prevent misuse of technology that harms girls. We are also tackling the next frontier of gender based violence and abuse. See, the next frontier, he's saying now it's going to get worse, but we are already prepared to tackle it. Deep fake images and videos generated by artificial intelligence. My administration also restored, see how he, just like he got up there and said, oh no, all of this stuff, it's a lie. It's a lie. We are not researching and developing and messing with the weather. But if you go to their uh, Navy civil engineers programs and look at the documents about the moonshots and how they put out sensors to test the force of winds and when they're going to put up these wind turbines and all of the things that they are doing to try to control and combat the weather because of, according to some of their studies, the greenhouse effect, they're trying to reverse that, but they can't reverse what has happened. And because of all of their experiments prior with the chemicals that they put in the air, those things are in their federal register documents. It's in national oceanic and atmospheric files and documents. It's in their internet archives. But then they want to turn around and say it's not true. So it's the same thing here. He's the deep fake. They are the deep fakes with their the little girl will come. My administration also restored and strengthened vital protections under Title 9. See, now we in the ninth to help keep students and employees safe from sexual assault and harassment on campus. Really? Now here's where he throw in. I thought they was talking about little girls. Listen to this paragraph. This my administration continues to stand with women and girls who are facing threats to their basic human rights in far too many conflicts around the world. Conflicts that they're putting them all the money in from taking from the little girls over here to send to Ukraine and Israel, who killing little girls. We continue to condemn sexual violence committed by Russia's force against women and girls in Ukraine, and we condemn terrorist groups' Hamas appalling, despicable acts of rape, mutilation, and other forms of sexual violence in Israel on October 7, 2023, and against hostages. That's deep fake. In 2022, I signed a historic presidential memorandum to promote justice and accountability for acts of conflict related to sexual violence. And I have since announced dedicated sanctions on new initiatives to hold perpetrators accountable and support survivors. During this year's NATO summit, we revised the Women, Peace, and Security policy to address emerging security threats that put girls at risk, including climate crisis. Is there a climate crisis for real? It can't be a climate crisis according to him, because he's not telling the truth, that it's because of the research and development and the moonshot phase of the civil engineering and reconstructing of their infrastructure is why the climate is the crisis is the way it is. Before any of these cities get flooded, before any of the flooding happened, some of the flooding didn't happen the way that they predicted it would happen, because they had their sensors in the wrong place. So they're a little bit disappointed. But anything that's going to happen with flooding in these towns and cities, including Asheville, was in their documents before. The same place I'm looking right here, this Federal Register, before the storm even hit land, before the storm was even created. When I showed y'all and told y'all they had centers out there for the 29th, what happened? There was a storm on the 29th. That's not a prediction that I made off no prophetic in my mind. Oh, I could see things. It was in their Federal Register document, the same document here that's bringing out their the little girl will come. Guided by the belief that our nation and our world are at best their best, huh? When there are endless possibilities for all women and girls, my administration is devoted to helping girls reach their full potential. At the first Summit for Democracy, we established Advancing Women and Girls Civic and Political Leadership Initiative to build and sustain girls' participation in political and civic engagement. And this year, my administration launched Women Leading Effective and Accountable Democracy. They need them to be on the demo crazies, the demo craze, in collaboration with international allies, and advance women and girls' leadership in democratic peace and security processes. And thanks to the leadership of Vice President Kamala Harris, our administration was galvanized more than 2.9 billion in investments to advance the economic status of women around the world, helping ensure girls will play a meaningful role in the industries of the future. When First Lady Jill Biden, Jack and Jill, went up the hill, broke and spoke to the White House's first ever celebration of girls leading change last fall. She reminded the world about the power of girls. She said, I hope you leave here knowing that your boldness is beautiful, that you belong in all places of power, that your future can be anything you want it to be, and that you will never be in this alone. As she handed out phones every time she went to Mexico and told the Mexicans, and I'm not, no discrimination, but whatever the plot in the film is, she wasn't doing that to all the little girls in the neighborhood. Did she make stop pits to any of the projects and talk to the way she went to Mexico and told the women there, you don't have to worry when you cross the border. We'll have phones for you to be in contact with your lover, your husband, and your children. You don't have to worry. Once you get across the border, we will empower you. And the first thing we're going to do, we're going to make sure you got phones. We're going to make sure you got a place to stay. We're going to make sure if you need to get a job, you're going to get a good paying job. It ain't going to be like when y'all used to come over in the 70s and 60s and you have to work in the bean fields. We're going to put you in high technology places because we need our CHIPS Act program to get the wheel turning and the big wheels to keep on turning, because the plan that Elon Musk has when he hits office, we have to make sure that we lay out the red carpet for it with the CHIPS Act law. And when we begin to start harnessing the light codes of those that we purchase, we ain't gonna purchase y'all because y'all aliens. You don't have to worry about being purchases. We only purchase in Americans. But if you sign on and you say you want to be a Mexican American, we gonna purchase you. We gonna buy you. But you don't have to worry now. You could be an alien as long as you need to be an alien. We got phone for you and you gonna be all right. Because we only really concerned about purchasing Americans, And we gonna do it through a little girl. Girls leading change last fall. She reminded the world about the power of girls. She said, I hope you leave here knowing that your boldness is beautiful, that you belong in all places of power, that your future can be anything you want it to be, and that you will never be in this alone. On this International Day of Girl and on this International Day of the Girl and Every Day, let us each commit to doing our part to create a brighter future worthy of the talents, aspirations, and dreams of all our girls, because when girls do well, we all do well. He wrote this proclamation on October 11th as the International Day of the Girl. This fifth thunder, 4 great people will perish: floods, lightning, storms, tornadoes, and landslides, hurricanes, hail in the summer, forest fires, children killing children, children killing their parents, rampant insanity and murders, the upsurge in drug addiction, and demonic revivals parading themselves as righteous. El Nina, the little girl, will come. Now I'm going to go on and move off for this and go over and read here. Come read along with me. Let's read along with me. You ready? Let me do this first. Let me take a breather, go refill my cup. And hold on.
Let's go. Sure. Yeah. Sound. It's written. Sound. Sure. Yeah. Sound. Armor ready. Yeah. Sound. It's written. Sound. Sure. Yeah. Sound. Armor ready. After the the dragon attempt to flood out and drown this woman clothed in her son, wearing her 12 crowns. He became furious. The scripts say he became wroth. Let us say Rothschilds woven from the knowledge of the cloth. So mad, he is preparing a war by the shores against all of God's promise, against the bloodline, the chosen. For 44,000 and more. No more rumors beyond rumors and rumors of war. No more rumors of war. As he comes from the sea to initiate Elizabeth soldiers. Oh, mercy, mercy me. No more rumors of war. Pandora's box past historical holders. Oh, mercy, mercy me. Historical, newer, victorial, newer, doctorial, newer, pictorial, newer, oratorical, newer. Battlefield up the imaginary Pan's doors. Her flow, her secret, her box, her floors. My roar, no more. Rumors beyond rumors, or rumors of rumors, of rumors of war. Let's go. Yeah. Sound, 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 sound is written. Sound, 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 sound. Let's go. Drum. Yeah. Sound, 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 sounds. Armor ready. Each day you keep the commandment of truth. Armor up, you say you belong with Christ too. Armor up, your race shows you are born again. Armor up, your feet shine 6 right. Code the way, truth is light. Let's go. Yeah. Sound, 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 sound. It's written. Sound, 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 sound. Let's go. Jump. Yeah. Sound, 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 sounds. Armor ready. Each day you keep the commandment of truth. Armor up, you say you belong with Christ too. Armor up, your race shows you are born again. Armor up, feet shines 6 right. Code the way, truth and the light. Let's go. Yeah. It is written. Sound, 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 sound. Drum. Yeah. Sound, 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 sounds. Armor ready.
Boy, that time short speeding up.
Wearing her 12 crowns, he became furious.
The time speeding, boy. I could. Goodness, I only feel like I've been on here for 15 minutes. I didn't even realize, and I'm trying to do some preparation hours today. Okay, let me go ahead and begin reading, and wherever I leave off, when I finish, however many hours I decide I want to put in, I will come back. I will come back. Goodness, goodness. All right. This that I'm reading is Let's Talk About the End. Let's talk about it, huh? Let's talk about it. Huh? Authored by. You got Biden talking about what he authored 30 years ago, and then now he want to revise it and under the International Day of the Girl, huh? He want to call in international. I told y'all who Biden is, Azazel. I told y'all he said it himself what his position was. And then had the nerve to do what not Nan president did, put his stinky penny loafers and make a proclamation letting y'all know he gonna buy Americans on Ebenezer Rock, huh? You can make it be an author if you want to, but this is the author I'm gonna read right now. Here we go. Let's go. Now let's really talk about the end. I can remember stories. The story ends like stories do. The story ends like stories do. Reality steps into view. Now let's really talk about the end. That's what you've been hearing for years from your teachers, your preachers, your environmentalists, your scientists, etc., who all have their ideas of when the end will come, how the end will come, and even what will happen after the end has come. And what is the end that they are referring to? First of all, the word end has quite a few meanings, which includes limits or boundaries, finish or close, and destruction or death. However, the end we're dealing with here is referring to a latter definition, which is to come to an end, to cease, to terminate, to close, to conclude. And this end could be the end of the world or end of earth. Why do I say this? Because the word earth is defined as the planet we live on, terrestrial globe, including, according to the Webster's new 20th century unabridged dictionary, it defines the word world as literally meaning the age of man. And remember, I told you that Christ, or in the scripture, it defines the spiritual wickedness in high places, the demons, Lucifer, and his counterparts as the prince of the ages. Prince of ages. The age of man, from Anglo Saxon origin, were man, and yildo, an age. So when saying the end of the world, you are saying the end of man, because the word world originally meant the existence of man on earth. Remember, we are separate of from the world. Those who are taught and have been informed, even under miseducation, that you are a descendant of the kingdom of heaven, that you are native to the kingdom of God, that Jesus came to show you that he came as a blueprint to remind you that you are the light of the world, that you are a light being, that you are not from this earth, you are not from this world. We are separate from the world. I even explained to you that in their terminology, we've taken the conception that when they said one world order or new world order, we've been looking and hearing it wrong. If they are already of the world, they control the world as we speak in their politics. They control the world. You're separate from the world. You're not even supposed to be intertwined with all of that. But when their attack is on the word, you are the word. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. So their order is to have order over the word, not over the world, because they already have order over the world. But back to it. You are saying the end of man, because the word world originally meant the existence of man on earth. Yet when the scientists use the term end of the world, they mean the actual destruction of the planet. And they went as far as exploring other planets that can be inhabited by humans, such as Mars and the moon, which have already shown signs of life existing on them, something that I've been telling you for years. They have set up bases on these planets, and there are pictures, books. Is there a base on Mars? Videos, Alternative 3, and documented evidence that are now being released to the public, which proves this, which is good, because I find that it's easier for you to accept it. If they say it, yeah, if they say it, you'll accept it faster. What the public doesn't know is that scientists have been probing Mars since the 1800s and found conditions similar to that of this planet. In an article entitled There is Life on Mars, Taken from the winter issue UFO Universe, it states that NASA photos that accompany this article shows that giant pipes rising high above the Martian surface, in some instances protruding from the plains and deserts, and others from mountainsides. These pipes resemble vent pipes found on most Earth homes, which use indoor plumbing. The plumbing would work poorly, if at all, without venting of pipes provided. The pipes provide. Such pipes on Mars might be used for air or other gas exchange and pressure equalization between underground city and surface atmosphere. And then they show a picture. This huge pipe is protruding from surface of Mars in the Marina Valley region of the planet. And anyone who is familiar with accounts emphasized through any type of media know that by the time news like this is made public, you can be sure that they have already visited and thoroughly dissected the planet, and that they have and are still in the process of moving select people there. So, what these scientists and environmentalists know about the destruction of this planet is not based on religion or a religious standpoint. It has to do with facts. And that the fact is that the destruction of this planet is inevitable, and they are on their way out of here. You, on the other hand, are waiting for someone to come and save you, and it just might be too late at the rate this planet is going. The planet is falling apart right under your feet. If you listen to the world news report, the report wait, if you listen to the world news report, there is a catastrophe or disaster happening in some country everywhere every single day, warning you that a great calamity is about to happen because the condition of this planet has gotten to the point that even Mother Nature is tired of man. The first signs will be animals and birds turning on mankind. When you see that, know it is near. Why is Mother Nature tired of man? The truth of the matter is, as I read that, I just thought about an article that I saw where a woman had to call the police because hundreds of raccoons, and y'all know raccoons will attack people. Huh? Now, I told a story about when I was sleeping out there in the wilderness, and I was near a family of raccoons up under the oak tree across from the church when I slept up out there on the asphalt. And those raccoons would come like they was protecting me and making sure I was okay. But I have also seen where raccoons will attack, huh? And this lady just recently had hundreds of raccoons surrounding her house. I don't know why, if it was some berries or something that they was eating or whatever. I don't know, but I just know they said she had to call the police. I don't know what the police did when they got there. I didn't see the rest of the ad. I was just laughing to myself. Huh? I also watched the birds. Y'all ever thought about? I know some people have been making connections with clones and stuff, but what's his name? Morky and Mindy. Robin Williams. That guy who played the birds. Remember when the birds was attacked? Y'all, I'm talking about the first, the old version of the birds. Remember when all those movies were all they in the 70s, the late 60s and 70s, where they had all these animal attack movies like the birds, the bees, the ants. Y'all remember? Well, anyways, but the birds, that guy right there, you couldn't tell me that wasn't Robin Williams, huh? All the way down to the mole. You couldn't tell me that that man right there wasn't Robin Williams. It's a lot of the actors and actresses now. As I watch the old Alfred Hitchcock movies and some of these older shows that I like to watch, and seeing some of them, I'd be like, wait a minute, that's that actor such and such and such right now. Like, anyways, back to it. Oh, Alchemist 83, greater light, greater light. Back to it. So, where was I? Yeah, as I read that, I that's where my mind went on that lady the other day. The first signs will be animals and birds turning on mankind. When you see that, know it is near. Why is Mother Nature tired of man? The truth of the matter is, in order for Mother Earth to accommodate the luxuries of man, the pollutants from cars, planes, jets, factories, etc., all of life natural substances are being destroyed. And here's some figures. Let me read what's in the figures. Since the North has reaped the comforts of the ecological cost of industrialization, the developed nations want the South to avoid their mistakes. While the South is anxious to raise their populations out of poverty, the developing nations do not want to pay for environmental sins they did not commit. Wow, that sounds just about right. On the particular one particular is the ozone layer. Let me go since I did that break. Let me get out of the break that I just did. The truth of the matter is, in order for Mother Earth to accommodate the luxuries of man, the pollutants from cars, planes, jets, factories, etc., all of life natural substances are being destroyed. One in particular is the ozone layer, the shield that protects the earth from sun's dangerous ultraviolet rays is depleting, which in turn throws off natural balance of the universe. And that's just one aspect of its destruction. There's violence, nuclear war, bombs, poverty, chemical waste, etc., that are all attributing to its destruction. So something has to go, either you or the planet. Did the Bible prophesy nuclear disaster? This type of information is never taught to you by your religious leaders, preachers, imams, or rabbis who give you their interpretation of the end of the world and base its cause on the prediction of the scriptures that was inevitable to come, regardless of the part man played by the way of his selfishness and greed. Religion itself has made a major contribution to destruction of this planet. If you were to scratch all aggressive tribalism or nationalism, you usually find beneath its surface a religious core, some older binding energy or belief of or superstition. This paradox of God love is a life force, the deepest well of compassion, is capable of transforming itself into a death force with destructive energies of belief. Faith, the sweetest refuge of and consolation, is hardened into a sword, a club, a torch, a gun, or even a bomb. Religious hatreds tend to be merciless, which is now on view among the Hindus and Muslims of India, among the Islamic fundamentalists of Egypt or Algeria, among Orthodox, among the Orthodox, Bosnian Muslims, and Catholics. It was religion behind the killings in Waco, Texas, the leader David Koresh. It was the religion behind the massacres and brutal rapes in Bosnia. And it was the religion behind the bombing of the World Trade Center. And then it shows a view of the bomb crater at the World Trade Center. Let's talk about the end. A young refugee in the besieged Bo- Bosnian town of Gorze, Gorz, Gorzda, Gorazda. Overpopulation is also accredited to its end. Scientists thought that would be possible to produce abundant supplies of food that would easily take care of 5 billion to 10 billion people. However, the vast majority of people have been added to the ranks of the poor, not the rich. They were 2.5 billion poor people in 1968. Now in 1995 AD, there are 4.2 billion, and that was just 1995. This amount of consumption is stripping the earth bare. The question is, where will the growth stop? Many countries are now in the process of trying to restrict births. Or will nature have to step in and clean up the planet along allowing starvation and disease like AIDS and other plagues to take its course? There cannot be an infinite population on a finite planet. If you are working against lowering the birth rate, then you're automatically working in favor of raising the death rate. And needless to say, Mother Nature will do her part. Your earthquakes, tornadoes, floods, droughts, etc. may be her way of retaliation in order to survive. Look at it this way. You just took everything that Mother Nature provided for everyone on this planet freely, bottled it up and sold it. Oh, it's a happy birthday right here. Oh, oh, thank you. For one, you took the land, chopped down the trees, pulled flowers and plants out of their natural environment, planted fruits and vegetables in climates where they are not naturally grown, and poured chemicals in the ground to speed up their size and growth, then packaged and sold them like it was yours, and you wonder why there are earthquakes. Secondly, you took the fresh, clean air, polluted it with cigarette smoke, toxic fumes, and chemicals, and now you package fresh air and sell it, and you wonder why there's blizzards and tornadoes. Thirdly, he took the water and used it as a dumping site for garbage and chemical waste. And now you package clean water and sell it. And now you wonder why there are floods and droughts. And when I say you, I don't mean you personally. Talking about mortal man, enosites as the whole humanity, as a whole of humanity. Another thing I'd like to bring to mind is, did you ever stop to think that all this mystical talk about the end should be as simple as someone or some beings with no religious concern at all, who are watching the mentality of the inhabitants of this planet, foresaw the destruction that was coming and was trying to warn you? Or it could be as simple as someone or some beings with no concern for you, religious or otherwise, who are aiding in the destruction of this planet, and their only motive may be for their personal gain. Refer to the mission Earth and the extraterrestrial involvement scroll number 82. You can't be sure, can you? Nevertheless, most religious, God fearing people wish for the end and have no idea what the end entails, or if it's the end of the entire planet or the end of its inhabitants. Yet, in the view of the state of the world, it has also become a common thing for men, women, and children to wish for the world to end. And they want it to end for various reasons, which has nothing to do with religion at all. I'm saying this because you tend to think that the only reason this world is coming to an end is because it is prophesied in religious books such as the Bible and the Quran. And every sect or denomination, be they anthroposophy, Bahaism, Brahmanism, Brahmoism, Buddhism, Christianity, Confucianism, ethical culture, Gnosticism, Jimpo Safi, Hinduism, Jainism, Judaism, Lamism, Maganism, Mandaism, Mohammedanism, Mohammedanism, Muslimism, Reincarnationism, Sabianism, Saivism, Shintoism, Sikhism, Taoism, Theosophy, Vedanta, Vedantism, Wahhabism, Yogiism, Zen Buddhism, Zoroastrianism, 5% ism, Black Muslimsism, Hebrew Israelitism, Black Jewsism, have their own interpretation of when and how the end will come. What any of these religions seem to overstand is that the destruction of this planet is based on facts. Religious scholars don't want to adhere to what scientists say about the creation or its destruction, and scientists feel the same way about religion. Yet, both may contribute to its missing links. Only in recent years, you might find some who are beginning to venture into each other's circles and realize that there is some connection, as shown on the January 11, 1988 AD issue of Newsweek magazine in an article entitled "The Search for Adam and Eve." When the scientists claim to have found your common ancestor, an Ethiopian who was a Nubian woman who lived 200,000 years ago and left res- re- resilient genes that are carried by all of mankind. And then it shows this article, a part of this article. So now, with all of this in mind, let's open mindedly talk about the end based on facts. Now, they found that January 11th, what year did he say? 1988, and it says 200,000 years. But in the Federal Register documents, they have stuff that they found even prior to that, that they list inside the Federal Register documents. Continue. Alchemos 83, what you say? Glad to see you at it. Been a while. I passed by. Jitsia, much love. Oh, see you. Much love. Greater light. Stay blessed. Greater light. Continue. Let's open mindedly talk about the end based on facts. And one is that there are some people who don't want the world to end because they feel that this is their paradise, and they will fight against anything that will interfere with it, like animal activists and environmental preservationists. In order for them to have acres of open land and large beautiful mansions, how many trees that aid in replenishing of earth have to be destroyed? Hundreds can be, and sometimes for only one person's pleasure. What most people don't know is that the trees are extreme importance to in soil stabilization and erosion. They also protect and conserve water supplies and prevent food and drought. Trees provide food and shelter, homes, and food for animals, and also purify the atmosphere by absorbing carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen. So these people with mansions have no need for organizations such as the Environmental Protection Agency that will strip the earth of each and every delicacy that they can get from it, as long as it is available and they can afford it. So they think. Now, based on this scroll and the term the Environmental Protection Agency, and he mentioned it here, I want to go over to the Federal Register and just show you something. And what I'm going to do is just type in EPA. Oh, somebody in here. EP. Oh goodness. Well, that's okay. They can do it like that if they want to. I'm fine. EPA. I'm gonna type in EPA and here how many documents we got by the federal, um the Environmental Protection Agency. Over 67,837 documents. And what I have told you about the Envi- Environmental Protection Agency is that most of the documents that show flood hazard zones and all of that, they'll let you know what they're testing on, how many people are going to be involved, which different organizations that they have included, is if it's, um, say, Florida with their insurance and all that. They'll let you know right here at the Environmental Protection Agency whether National Oceanic and Administration is involved, which research companies are involved, which biohazard companies are involved. This is where you would go to see what's going on with your land, and if it's under, how much funding is going to come through the infrastructure reconstruction or demolition um, program that the Biden Harris administration is so proudly um, standing on. But let's see the most recent. I'm going to go to the most recent of the EPA, the most recent local government advisory request for nominations, urban waters, federal partnership, clean watershed. Let's see, said the blind man. All these are for Tuesday. All this is for Tuesday. Air plan, Montana, Missoula, Montana oxygenated fuel programs removal, carbon monoxide limited maintenance. Now, if you wanted to check and see if this is going to be something where they actually remove a facility or all that, it would be in here. So it'd be like if something was to, I'm not clicking it because I'm not trying to go into their programs right now. But if something was to happen in this area right here, Missoula, Montana, and see the date that they have here, and they've been planning it since January 30th, but there was an explosion at a facility, you would come back and be like, this was the what you call it, this is the precursor to it. Okay, Environmental Protection Agency is the one that put down how many people may be involved in some of their um issuance. So like this right here, a regional haze. When it says haze, it's literally like a haze that is going to affect a particular area. What is this? New source performance standards. A lot of these be testing through their research and development to review volatile organic liquid storage vessels for petroleum. See, it's things like this that you may check because it might be some of the storage are leaking, and then they already know it's leaking, but they go ahead and instead of repairing it, they'll let it affect the area and then get paid to clean it up. This right here, the federal disruptive screening program for federal drug food. I went over this with y'all, if I'm not mistaken. I went over this, and some of this, it's about the chlorine. It's about the chlorine and the chemical that's found in foods that can make your body transparent, your organs transparent. That's what this proposal here. So now there's look like a proposed partial settlement agreement. Oh wow. There they go, killing the turtles. Remember, where did I read? That was in Second Thunders. They still killing the turtles, huh? Um, Final environmental impact statement for Cascade Siskoya National Monument. Um, Oregon Mountains Desert Peaks. Notice of availability for Oregon Mountains. Where's Oregon Mountains? I never heard of that. But that's all. I just wanted to come over here. Now they have one public inspection, so that means it's something pertinent. Let's see what they got for people to pay attention to. Chumash Heritage National Marine Sanctuary. Two known EPA dredge disposal sites. The National Ocean within the sanctuary, National Oceanic and Administration. Hold up, let me hit this. And they're not releasing it until the 16th. Coolmesh Heritage National Marine Sanctuary. 4,543 square miles. submerged lands and marine waters approximately 2 miles southeast of the Marina Diablo Canyon power plant. Uh-oh. Establishing terms. Uh-oh. Governor of State of California may certify to the Secretary of Commerce that the designation of any of its terms are unacceptable, in which case the designation or unacceptable term will not take effect in state waters of the sanctuary. Ooh, ooh, uh-oh. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get out of this one. It's best for those people over there near Diablo Canyon to go and check out. And if the governor of California does not say or have anything to say against it, they will go on to continue to do whatever it is that they have planned. And the only way it is letting you know in this document, whatever it is they're about to do, if the people don't have nothing to say about it, and then the governor don't have nothing to say about it, they're gonna go through with it. So I'm gonna click on out of there and let's get back to what I was reading. Mm? Let's get back to what I was reading. Mm-mm-mm. Share this tab instead. So the only reason why I took you over to the environmental, I went into Department of the federalregister.gov, typed in EPA. Is I won't no, I'll leave that alone for now. So these people with mansions have no need for organizations such as the Environmental Protection Agency, and will strip the earth of each and every delicacy that they can to get from it, as long as it's available and they can afford it. So they think. Then, on the other hand, there are children growing up that want the world to end because they feel unwanted, unloved, and see that there is no future. So they end their own world by committing suicide. And this is happening more and more each year. They are in the street, creating a street life of death. Adults who can't stand what's happening to their children with drugs, gangs, and sex and violence murder them to end their world. And the elderly who want the world to end just for a little peace in the world full of chaos and turmoil. So they end it by simply stop living and will themselves to die. And now, according to October 6, 1994 AD, an issue of Atlanta Journal, new groups have developed referred to as doomsday thinkers. They depict the world as a threat and oftentimes result in what they call revolutionary suicide or mass murder. Also, the righteous and good God fearing want the world to end for the same reasons, but they choose to say that is in signifies the time and the return of Messiah Jesus. All of these people, be they scientists, environmentalist, leader, parent, or child, believes that this end will relieve them from the trials and tribulations of this life. The same way your grandmother felt, who has been waiting for her grandmother, who is waiting for her grandmother, all the way back from millions and millions of people from centuries past who died waiting for the end. Now, and now you're waiting. But exactly are you waiting for? In fact, just what do you think the end is? Are you prepared for it? What will you do when it comes? This is why I'm writing this pamphlet, so that you and I can really talk about the end. Then you will understand just what the end is and what it entails, and not just sit around waiting when it's things that you could be doing. The end of the world is purposely found its basis in your Bible as stories, in your novels as fiction, and in hands of many false prophets giving false predictions, such as John Wesley said the end would come in 1836, and the Baptists proposed 1830 AD and 1847. John Wesley, 1703 1791 AD, theologian, evangelist, and founder of Methodism. Based on the text of Daniel 8:14, a New England farmer named William Miller expected the world to end in 1843. That's the branch of the Seventh-day Adventists, or 1844. His followers pinpointed October 22nd, 1844 AD, willing to accept the great disappointment that resulted when October 22nd, 1844 AD passed without Christ's return. Some explain that Christ began to cleanse the heavenly sanctuary on that date, thus gave birth to the modern Adventist movement. Charles Tazel Russell, I told y'all the other day, not even Jesus knows, and it is said that in the Bible. The Bible says that not even Jesus knows. So I don't know how they got those dates and times when it says not even the Son knows when God is going to end this earth. This is where I say you must study to show thyself approved and rightly divide the word of truth. There's things and documents and historic documents within all of these religions that are facts, and there's things that are made up, allegorical, and but the fact is there's nowhere in it where it says a particular date, and it says that not even Jesus knows. I'm just saying, I never believed any particular date when somebody said when 1999 New Year's going into the year 2000, when family members were saying be in the house and Jesus could be coming, da 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 da, and people really were preparing because it was predicted that 2000 was gonna. And I said, and I walked out, I said, no, if he coming, I want to be outside seeing when he come. And I took a walk. I was living in the rancher, and my friend at the time, she walked with me, and we went to the basketball court. And I stood out there. And when the guns start going off, I was standing out there because I wanted to, if it was that was the time that I need you, I want to be the first face you see so you could do some explaining. Huh? Huh? So I never was one to believe the dates because I read that it said if not even Jesus know when he's supposed to come on in and roll through and reveal and roll back. He don't know. He's the ushering in God's kingdom. Uh, Charles Tazel Russell, whose public Bible studies formed the foundation of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, said Christ had returned to earth in 1874 AD and would begin his visible reign in 1914. Jehovah's Witness literature now speaks of the Creator's promise of peaceful and secure new world before the generations that saw the events in 1914 AD passes away again in 1960 AD and 1918 AD, each time stating the word came from the Creator whom he called Jehovah. Contemporary failed speculations include Edgar C. Wisenant, who in 1988 AD listed 88 reasons why the rapture would be in 1988 AD. When Christ failed to return, he predicted the rapture of 1989 AD, and Georgia book that placed the rapture on October 8th, 1992 AD at 12:55 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And a Korean, they all predict October though. Wonder why. I wonder why. Wonder why they all predict October. Eastern Daylight Time, and a Korean prophet's assertion that the rapture was set for midnight, October 28th, 1992 AD in South Korea. 20,000 Christians left school or quit jobs to await the end. The makers of these predictions are of several varieties. They are religious prophets or warning, mystic prophets, seers who seem to dream unintentionally of future events without living to see their prophecies fulfilled. Then there are the scientific interpreters of trends and likely possibilities of doom, who frequently indicate, supported by the evidence of astronomy, geology, meteorology, and even economics, and even more complete destruction than many of the prophetic visions from the past. The scientific prophets of today foresee the devastating and eventual destruction of the earth through uncontrolled industrialization, general famine resulting from overpopulation and food distribution breakdown, disastrous climate variation and flooding through the hothouse effect, and they ended up translating it to greenhouse effect, to the excessive carbon dioxide in the upper atmospheric layers, and the poisoning of the oceans and destruction of the sea's ability to renew life. These are things that the Bible never mentions, as well as droughts, blizzards, forest fires, hurricanes, tornadoes, volcanoes, eruptions, ozone depletion, etc. And these prophetic misfires destroys the trust of innocent minds who are looking for the answer. What is meant by the end of the world? The end of the world is the end of all life on the planet Earth, meaning men, women, children, animals, plants, fish, fowl, etc., as in the time of Noah of the Bible, Genesis 6:13. However, this end can also lead to the end of the earth, bringing it back to the ice age. There are basically two views of the end. The Bible points of a view which only deals with someone coming to save you, and the scientific point of which deals with the cause and effect. This is what caused it, and these are the effects. Neither knows how and when the end will come. That would be determined on man, nature, and or the universe. However, the fact still remains the end is inevitable. The Bible, Old and New Testaments, and the Quran doesn't tell you about all the other things going on around you, like natural disasters. They also never tell you about the extraterrestrial involvement, which is mentioned all throughout the Bible. For example, in the Old Testament, when it says God came down in Genesis 11:5, and I quote, and the Lord Yahweh came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men built. Now, does it really make sense to you that the Almighty, all-seeing, all-knowing God who come down to see a small city when he created the universe? How belittling. The word used for came down in Aramaic Hebrew is yarad, meaning to go down, descend, decline. The same word yarad is used in Genesis 15:11 when birds came down. And I quote, and when the fowls came down upon the carcasses. So if the same word yarad is used for both God and bird descending, this verse this verse is simply calling God, saying that God simply came down. And if God is in heaven, as stated in Revelations 3:12, which in Greek is Uranus, meaning Orion, the sixth star constellation, then he came from an actual place that can be found in astronomy books such as Star Watch by Ben Mayer, pages 26-29. And if the saying is true that God holds the world in the palm of his hand, he not only have been able to come, he would not have been able to come down and fit in such a small planet as Earth. Think now and don't say what the Bible does not say, like this meaning or that meaning. It's just what it says. Think now and don't say what the Bible does not say, like this meaning or that meaning, or just what it says. So, this God in Genesis 11:5 that came down to earth would indeed have been an extraterrestrial according to its definition, which is extra, a prefix signifying outside, outside the scope or region of beyond or more than besides terrestrial, pertaining to the earth, existing on the earth. This means that anybody or anything that came to earth that was not originally on the earth is an extraterrestrial. So according to Genesis 11:5, God is an extraterrestrial, and there are many other accounts that can be found in the Bible regarding extraterrestrial involvement, as well as in the Quran. For instance, the sons of God that came to the daughters of men, Genesis 6:4 agreeable, and 6:2 disagreeable. Mysterious clouds, Numbers 10:34, and burning bushes, Exodus 3:4, that spoke, refer to the mystery of the clouds. Are they UFOs? Scroll 91. Angels with trumpets, Matthew 24:31. Angels came on errands, Quran 97:4. Muhammad's ascension, Quran 17:1. What you call angels from heaven up out there somewhere. Some even come in human form in a physical body and can be agreeable, like the Anunnaki, referred to in your Bible or Quran as gods or angels, or they could be disagreeable, reptilians referred to as the devils or iblis, and has hosts referred to refer to are there UFOs, extraterrestrials in your midst. These are just examples that, if taken out of mysticism and brought down to reality, you can see without a doubt that extraterrestrials have been in your midst, even before the Bible was assembled and can be scientifically proven. So, was the flood of Noah considered the end of the world also? It depends on how you want to look at the word world. If you're looking at it as the planet itself, then I'll say no. But if you're looking at it as an inhabitation of earth, then I'll answer this question by going straight to the Bible in the 7th chapter of Genesis, where many believe is the first destruction of earth. This chapter narrates the events of the floods that destroyed the earth during Noah's time, and it was the end for those of his time. The destruction was the end of all life forms, which stated in Genesis 7:21, and I quote, "And all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl and of cattle and of beasts and of every creeping thing that creepeth on the earth, and every man." Note that this verse states upon the earth, eretz, the Aramaic Hebrew meaning on or up and on. So the planet Earth was not destroyed at the time, only the living flesh that was up and on the earth. And therefore, the only in here was what could be noted as the mass murdering of all living beings. Every man, every animal, and every insect was killed on the face of the earth. As previously mentioned, the meaning of the word earth, according to Webster's dictionary, which I never understood why this book was called a dictionary when it is full of definitions. It makes sense to call it a definitionary, right? It says that earth is the planet that we live on. So earth would be the whole entire planet, not just its inhabitants. Yet, according to Genesis 7:21, it says all flesh were destroyed on the earth, or as they said, died, which is gawa, the Aramaic meaning to expire, die, perish. There's a contradiction because Noah, his family, and two of every living thing of all flesh existed at the time, lived as stated in Genesis 6:19. Now, if this verse is saying that all flesh was destroyed upon the earth during the flood, then where did Noah come from? Because he and his family and animals would be included in all. Kol, the Aramaic Hebrew, who died, and Webster defines the word all as wholly, completely, entirely, considering everything as a whole, everything. So this definition verifies that Noah should have been included, where it said all flesh died, which is past tense, meaning it had already happened. So if Noah and his family were not a part of the all that died, then where were they? Okay, you could say that they all were on the ark, but then the ark couldn't have been on the earth with living people in it because it was still on the earth, which would mean again they would have been a part of the all of flesh that died, as specified in Genesis 7:21. So, according to that, Noah couldn't have been on the earth during the flood, or else he would have been counted amongst the dead. Now, where's the ark? It couldn't have been on earth. Either this is another contradiction of the Bible, or the ark was actually hovering above the water and not resting upon the earth, or the water was on the earth. What makes this difficult for you to see is that you are taught and programmed that this ark was some type of boat, and it is written in every version of the Bible, in movies and novels, etc., that Noah built a big boat. But if you go to the Hebrew language and look at the word that translated as ark, which is the word teba, meaning vessel, you will see that the ark being a boat was only implied. So someone threw that English word ship in, which, if questioned, could be a boat or a craft, and is one of the reasons why the English language is a language of confusion. So either you have to openly admit that the Bible is contradicting itself by saying that all flesh died, which also means Noah and his crew, or openly admit that Noah and his family and animals were actually hovering over the earth in a craft or vessel. In an article entitled "There is Life on Mars," taken from the winter issue UFO Universe, it states that the Christian belief is that Ark sailed to safety on a distant mountaintop, perhaps Mount Arafat. But the legends of many primitive earth people would have us look elsewhere for the final destination of the ark and its passengers. These legends describe the ark as having the shape of a barrel rather than a ship. Noah's ark in the shape of a barrel. When examining Earth's legends, perhaps we find that these unspoiled folk tales of primitive Earth people are more accurate than our present sophisticated view of the ark as a ship. What better way for a primitive people to describe a spaceship, which is round and elongated, than like a barrel? It is possible that the ark was not a ship that sailed the seas of earth, but a spaceship that sailed through space to safety on a distant planet of our solar system. In Genesis 6:14, the Elohim told Noah that to construct a craft and they would levitate it. So in the end, they are referring to during the time of Noah is just talking about the end of all flesh, not the planet itself. As for the end of the planet, it has yet to come. Why did God destroy the earth during Noah's time? If you go back to the 6th chapter of Genesis and 5th verse, it reads, "And God saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination and thoughts of his heart was only evil continually." And the 6th verse tells how he felt about the development of this man that he created and his reason for killing all the flesh upon earth. And I quote it, "And it repented the Lord that he had made man on earth, and it grieved him at his heart." Let's just stop here. First of all, this verse is telling you that the all knowing God who knows your heart, as stated in Luke 16:15, and I quote, "God, Theos, knoweth your hearts, who knows your thoughts," as stated in Psalms 94:11, and I quote, "The Lord Yahweh knoweth the thoughts of man." In fact, according to your Bible, God knows all things, as stated in 1 John 3:20, and one I quote, "God Theos is greater than your heart and knoweth all things." Wouldn't an all-knowing God who knows all things, even down to your very heart, know that man whom he created would be evil, disagreeable, and eventually do evil? And if God already knew that man's every imagination would be evil, why should he be grieved? Astab in Arabic Hebrew, meaning to hurt, pain, for someone that he knew was going to happen, or for something that he knew was going to happen. And why should it repent Nahum in Aramaic Hebrew, meaning to be sorry, him that he made man, Adam, in Aramaic Hebrew, to the point where he would destroy him. And if he were to step out of the scriptures into the court of law, how different would it be to someone convicted of killing their child because he was an incurable dope addict? And then this same man went around killing all of the dope pushers because he was grieved to his heart and felt that these dope pushers would sell dope to children continuously. And how different would that judge be, he who condemned this man to death, who killed these dope pushers? And how different would that be for the person who had to pull the switch that murdered this man, and so on and so on? But that's if you stepped out of the scriptures. Or did this fall under jurisdiction of a president of the country who can send troops over to a country and mass murder millions of people? It seems that God never said the creation of man was good or to be in Aramaic, Toby, meaning agreeable anyway. If it's according to Genesis, the first chapter, when God said, I should say these gods, because the word God in these verses is translated from Aramaic, which uses the term Elohim, the plural for the word God. So these Elohim said everything they created was good until man. Genesis 1:4, and God, Elohim, saw the light, and it was good. They said, let us create man in our own image. And they said it was good. Genesis 1:10, and God, Elohim, called the dry land earth, and gathering together of the waters he called seas. And God, Elohim, saw that it was good. Genesis 1:12, and the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God, Elohim, saw that it was good. Genesis 1:18, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God, Elohim, saw that it was good. Genesis 1:21, and God, Elohim, created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God, Elohim, saw that it was good. Genesis 1:25, and God, Elohim, made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth on the earth after his kind. And God, Elohim, saw that it was good. And in Genesis 1:27, it says, and I quote, so God, Elohim, created man, Adam, in his own image. In the image of God, Elohim created he him. Male, Zakai, and female, Nakeba, or Nakiba, created he them. And then the Bible goes on to say in the 28th verse that I quoted, and God Elohim blessed them, and God Elohim said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish your earth and subdue it. According to the Bible, God said nothing about the creation of man being good or agreeable, as he said with all of his other creations, which would then bring you to another question, which is, if he knew that man was evil, then why did he kill all the animals and insects, etc., if indeed man only was evil, as stated in Genesis 6:5? No one ever questions this. And remember, according to Genesis 1:21 and 25, the animals were good, from the great whales and every living creature that moveth under the water, and every winged fowl of the air, and every beast and cattle, down to everything that creepeth upon the earth, and everything after its kind. Of course, you might say that the animals are not as important as human beings, and feel that animals are obsolete, that is, until your next meal. However, God himself considered animals a good part of his creation. Was the flood of Noah the first destruction of the planet? No, it was the fourth. The first destruction was by ice glaciers. The second, 17,250 million, no, 17,250,000 years ago, which was destroyed by a shower of meteorites that hit the earth when the evolution of man and animal occurred from the water from the first living cell that evolved on land. While on land, they inherited skin from the dirt, which also took billions of years. Early Earth was composed of ammonia and methane gases and water. While these gases were in the water upon the Earth, the exposures of ultraviolet rays from the sun caused these gases to form simple organic molecules, which began to form larger molecules until protein was formed. Eventually, these formations ultimately resulted into the prototype of living cell, which occurred 46 trillion years ago. The stage off after the evolution of the first cell involved the development of the first animals. 24 trillion years after these were the single cell organisms known as protozoa, proto meaning first in time, and zoa meaning animals. The next groups of animals were the metazoans. The metazoans were composed of tissue, organs, and systems. These animals multiplied and diversified, and over a period of 19 million years, evoluted into man and many types of animals. This was the first evolution of life on your planet. They then called Ki. These inhabitants went through many changes, such as the ice age, glaciers, volcanoes, and earthquakes. During this time, there was also a problem of dinosaurs. Evolution of dinosaurs, which means great lizards and man, were imbalanced to the point that the dinosaurs were much bigger than man and killing them off. There wasn't enough dinosaurs or humans. The carnivores, meat eaters, were killing off both man and herbivores, plant eaters. Because of these killings, there were many more dinosaurs than humans, and the dinosaurs ruled. Man lived in constant fear of his predator, so a shower of meteorites was necessary to start a new population, but with smaller animals. Human beings were to be in control of the planet Earth. These meteorites came from upon Earth like great balls of fire. The third meteorite shower, which destroyed the planet Earth, was 14 million years ago. That led into the reconstruction and replenishing recorded in Genesis of your Bible. What are the meteorites? Meteorites are stony metallic meteoroid that survive passage through the atmosphere that reaches the Earth's surface. They have been called shooting stars because of their appearance. In actuality, they are the results of meteoroids entering the Earth's atmosphere. The partly gaseous matter enters the upper atmosphere at a high speed, 35 through 95 kilometers per second, or 22 through 60 miles per second, and burns up its energy, producing the familiar shooting star effect. Meteoroids are any of numerous celestial bodies ranging from specks of dust to asteroids weighing thousands of tons, which appear as meteors when entering the Earth's atmosphere. Meteorites plunge to Earth in a fiery ball, which with such force that they cause craters on the Earth. The Arizona meteor crater. And then they try to lie and say they just found this one, I think, if I'm not mistaken. As previously stated, some meteorites weigh several tons. Sometimes a large mass of may break up into smaller pieces on its descent and cause a meteor shower. In a meteor shower, many separate pieces of meteoroid fall to Earth. These pieces usually burn up in the upper atmosphere and are considered the residue of a comet and fall during most of the year that the comet passes closest to Earth. So as the comet continues and came back and its tail got longer, that's what's out there right now. And then the one that is traveling that they say is a extra moon that they say we can't see, that one also has a tail, and a tail because um the one out there right now that is orbiting, that's the one that they knocked supposedly knocked off of course. When they hit and impacted it, it ended up shattering other pieces. But they're saying that that one, when they did it, that it wasn't supposed to return back into the atmosphere until like 2030 or something like that. But according to their lies and their simulations, they're saying that it's out there right now orbiting and we can't see it with a naked eye, but we can see a bag that fell from the ISS still orbiting. Yeah, right. Okay. All right. Let me continue. Examination of meteorites show that they can be classified as three basic types. First, there are stony meteorites, aerolites, made of material much like ordinary rocks found on Earth. More than 90% of all meteorites are stony, only about 10% nickel iron, and consist of chiefly silicates. A few stony meteorites also contain carbon bearing substances similar to materials found in living things. A second type of meteorite is made of iron. Siderites, iron meteorites, are extremely dense and consist of 90% iron and 10% nickel. They are commonly found base because they are less likely to break up as they pass through the atmosphere. The third are the rare type of meteorite that contains iron and stone that are composed of thessalicates, the thessalicates, olivine olive, the pyroxene, orthopyroxene, and these are called chondrites to distinguish them from the few stones without chondrules known as achondrites. Scientists believe that different kinds of meteorites are sample of material originally condensed out of the solar nebula. Oh, they said right now there's a nebula being able, a star getting ready to um explode, have a nuclear reaction, and it is close to or on the same rotational grid right there with Mars. But according to information, y'all know that risk is in between Mars and that the next planet, and that's where it's orbiting at, right? But they're saying right now that they had expected that this star that they seen was supposed to have its nuclear reaction in September. It was supposed to have, and I believe that's the date where they had that September 29th. And I told y'all and I showed y'all in the Federal Register, and it didn't happen like they expected it to. But they saying that they hoping that it happens any day now. They saying that in their scientific research and development that this nuclear fusion explosion of a star that they've been watching is supposedly was supposed to happen. They're hoping and praying that it happens. It didn't happen in September like they predicted. Huh? They don't have the last say so. They don't have the last say so. They're man-made things. They could plan it and God could change it. They could plan to wipe out a whole state and God could say, yeah, y'all want it to be that strong, but it's just strong enough. Uh, but it ain't gonna get you the money that y'all want in y'all infrastructure plan. They wanted Disney to be demolished. They wanted all of the bridges to be demolished. All of the that they put in their infrastructure plan that they was hoping to be demolished didn't happen, and now they even more they on it, and they trying to. I saw immediately after that. Y'all know how I like to go to the global Earth and Google Earth and look at the. I don't watch the news for their forecast anymore. I go to Google Earth and forecast it for myself, right? And I saw a storm out there, and I said, now they try that storm was supposed to veer off and go up north. It veer off with Milton, right? But you could see whatever sensors that they sent and kept pushing it back down because it's what you call it is going clockwise. It's spiraling, is going clockwise. So as it was what's his name, Milton was coming off of Florida coast, it was supposed to combine with it and go straight on up. But I could see where they was pushing whatever sensors and technology you could pushing it back and trying to prevent it from joining as what you call it came off the coast. And now they trying to predict for that one to come. But the cold weather and cool weather fronts and stuff that we have, they not going to succeed. They're not going to succeed, and that's going to make them even angrier because they want at least to be able to put in the funds and dump the funds that they did, the Hire and Harris administration so proudly put there for their reconstruction plan. They want that to be able to transition over before the election. So they trying too hard. They don't have enough mercury and stuff to put out there. That's why they going into these mines right now and digging out as much as they can to help form the spiraling. But the magnesium levels are so high they can't do it. They can't do it, and the magnesium levels coming on both ends. But they can't. They can't. They trying too hard. They trying to, and it's making them even angrier. It's making them even angrier. Y'all get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Let me continue. As a matter of fact, let me check the time. Wow. I can't believe I done went this. Oh my goodness. It's time for me to get off of here. I had promised I was going to be only an hour. Boy, look at how time flies when you're having fun. Look at how time flies. I'm going to have to mark this. Let me see what page I'm on because I'm definitely going to come back after I go get some preparation hours in. What time? What page? 28. It's on page 28. Yep. Nanny, nanny, boo, boo. Elon, Elon. They tried to stop me. I didn't go again and check to see if Internet Archives, if they still got it blocked, but they didn't block Internet Archives until I got on that night and start reading from the Holy Tablets. You can't stop nothing over here, huh? They know it too. They know they can't stop it, but they not gonna stop trying because it's predicted that they would try. Huh? It was predicted that they would try. They following the script. You can follow the script. Follow along. Are you born again? Latrell Tinwell, you still there? Are you born again? Are you born again? Oh, you too, Alchemos. You born again? Nah, it ain't under maintenance. Alchemos. Who are you? Are you Elon in disguise? It ain't under maintenance. Let me tell you what it said. You could go and look. They trying to say that it was attacked by hackers. Huh? If it's under maintenance, it didn't go under maintenance until I started reading out of the holy tablets. It said that because it's instructed that I read the whole out of the holy tablets now. Huh? Like how I was reading out of the Bible for the past 4 or 5 months. Now I'm supposed to read out of the holy tablets. The night that I started or into the celebration of my son's breath day celebration, I did that. That was a treat to myself. And then the next couple of hours, they cut off talking about you could go check. If you have any questions on why the Internet Archives is not working, huh? You can go and ask X, Blue Skies, or what they call him now, Mastodon. They just put his name all wrapped up in one. Elon 666, huh? Elon, the new Andy, like he gonna get that position no matter who's in office. That position that he paid, what's his name for? that he used, and Trump finally became a puppet and said, yes, I'll take your money. You can pay me because I'm tired. I'm wax cold. My heart is wax cold. And you could go ahead and pay me, even though I don't like you, even though I wanted to shut down SpaceX and all that because of what you're doing, but you could pay me off. Huh? I'll be the puppet and you can have your antichrist position. Huh? Today he sent off another, his fifth test of lies. His fifth test. He is ready, hopping up, showing his stomach like he the belly of the beast. He wore his shirt so short, Alchemos, so short that when he jumped, do you wear your shirts that short that if you raise your hand you can see your belly? And he throwing up, huh? The signs talking about it is no longer NASA, it's Nas. We done went from NACA to NASA and I'm gonna get that position no matter what you say. The position where is he even a United States citizen that he would be able to have the position that Trump he paid Trump off to? He didn't just pay it to Trump. He paid it to all the government. Huh? That he will be able to have that position that will run every department, that he'll have a say so in every department. Huh? Ain't anybody better thinking, and that's just not privy to you, this system, because they're doing their whole world system. No, he is not a robot. He is not a robot. He is a alien. There's a reason why he trying so hard to get back to Mars. He the only just like that movie. Some if you look back to some of those shows from the 50s and the 60s, and I think it was um not Twilight Zone. It's an old show. I'll come back and talk about it later. It's an old one. And one of the episodes where the guy ended up working with the government, and when he got in the position, because he kept saying we're gonna get to Mars, and this authority figure with a lot of money. It's like they predicted what's going on now. This authority figure, he was saying, yes, we're gonna go ahead. And then he told what you call it, he told the authority figure, just say it was Trump. Just say it's Trump and Elon. He told him, he said, yes, you could go on with me for the test experiment part of it. And when they got on the ship, and he funded all this money. I'm talking about millions of dollars. And when they got on the ship, he told him, he said, we not turning around. He said, because I'm getting off the planet. I'm going back to my home. I'm going back to Mars. All this time I wasn't considering doing none of this for the people. Because every test that they did, it kept blowing up, or they couldn't get out of the atmosphere. When he finally got the thrust enough for it to break through the atmosphere, he wouldn't turn. He said, "We not turning around. I don't know what you think. You need to sit down. We ain't going nowhere. You on here with me. Thank you for all your investments, huh? And thank you for allowing me to get it." But I gotta find that episode. I gotta find that episode. But I'm out of here. I got some things to do. Greater light. Don't believe me? Read and study to show thyself approved. Your heart. Get your hearts, because they are targeting the hatred, the energy, the same way they were able to look at the spiral of the storm and see the light code in the storm to tell you what is the same way they can see the light in your body. And when they say that they're buying Americans, that's on both sides. Repubs, the Publics, they licking lizards, and the demo craze, the demon craze. They say they're gonna buy Americans. They mean it. They want your light code. And if the Repubs get it, believe me, Elon is gonna be in heaven, whatever his Babylonian, German, Polish. They even got something in there for the all his people. He gonna be uh, happy. Like I said, y'all think P. Diddy throw parties, the type of party that Elon must throw. He gonna make sure he gonna be throwing I like codes, uploading you if he had to upload you in pigs until he could get enough robots. He'll upload your consciousness into a monkey until he get his stuff the way he needed to get. He will upload your light code into whatever creature he need to upload it into, because your soul is for sale. Your light code is for sale. Believe it. Believe it. It's in your Federal Register. They said it, and Biden has said it out loud too many times for I don't see how people are ignoring it. Greater light, greater light. Let me close out with a song. Let me close out with a song. I should, you know what? I'm going to play my brother's Hokey Pokey. Alchemos, if you didn't know, my brother transitioned October 7th last year while I was sleeping out under an oak tree. Well, he was laid to rest October 7th. And when he was laid to rest, the war broke out. It's always like that with our family. Just like when I got the news of my son's transition, the towers fell immediately after. Now I ain't talking about no hours later, a day later, immediately after, and I zoned on out. When my brother was laid to rest, Bennett Menace of the Menaces of the Royal Capacity of Bahamas, the firstborn, Bennett Menace, when they put him in the ground, the war broke out. And so his favorite song was Hokey Pokey. He was blind. He was born blind. And he had the mind of a child. And me and him were like this in spirit and in flesh. We were like this. And his favorite song was Hokey Pokey. And I redid a Hokey Pokey based on Ezekiel 21. And that's what I'm about to play right now as I close on out. Greater light, greater light.
Yeah. Low key. Let's see. Set the blind man, idle total beat. Double O, 7 ho. Case your right foot in hokey. Put your left foot out, let's see. Set the blind man, side, rock the knee to a new hokey. Slash the right word, okay, let's see. Set the blind man, idle total beat. Double beat, 7 ho. Case your right foot in hokey. Put your left foot out, let's see. Set the blind man, side, rock the knee to a new hokey. Slash the right word, okay, okay. Clap, clap, your hands bigger. Brucely, Brucely. Clap, clap, your hands bigger. Brucely, Brucely. Then take the word and brand it twice. 1, thrice, 2, thrice, 3. Slash right side left amended. You prophesy with clapping hands, let God hear you the song. This is the final round. New hokey, pokey. Hilly follow by light. Hilly follow by light. Hilly follow by light. Want some lips, no fight, no flight. Clap, clap, your hands bigger. Brucely, Brucely. Clap, clap, your hands bigger. Brucely, Brucely. Then take the word and brand it twice. 1, thrice, 2, thrice, 3. Slash right side left amended. You prophesy with clapping hands, let God hear you the song. This is the final round. New hokey, pokey. Let's see. Set the blind man side, rock the knee to a new hokey. Slash to the right word. Okay, let's see. Set the blind man, idle total beat. Double O, 7 ho. Case your right foot in hokey. Put your left foot out, let's see. Set the blind man side, rock the knee to a new hokey. Slash to the right word. Okay, clap, clap, your hands bigger. Brucely, Brucely. Clap, clap, your hands bigger. Brucely, Brucely. Then take the word and brand it twice. 1, thrice, 2, thrice, 3. Slash right side left amended. You prophesy with clapping hands, let God hear you the song. This is the final round. New hokey, pokey. Hilly follow by light. Hilly follow by light. Hilly follow by light. Want your lips, no fight, no flight. Hilly follow by light. Hilly follow by light. Hilly follow by light. Want your lips, no fight, no flight. Hilly follow by light. Hilly follow by light. Hilly follow by light. Want some lips, no fight, no flight. Hilly follow by light. Hilly follow by light. Hilly follow by light. Want some lips, no fight, no flight, no flight, no flight. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. idle, total beat, double, beat your right foot in hokey, put your left foot on that seat, set the blind man side, lock the knee to a new key, slash to the right word, all key.